Hi, and welcome back to Mighty Little Green Machine. In part 2 of rehabbing the rotary cutter, we're going to finish it in this video. We're going to get the blades changed and back on. We're going to get it painted. We're going to finish the brackets, get the front brackets straightened out, and get everything bolted back together and ready to go. Let's get started. Okay, so I watched a couple of videos, and one video suggested using a pipe wrench, which I tried, and that didn't work to get these blades off. So what I ended up doing was locking the pin in my vise, and then I was able to go ahead and get that right off, which was nice. And I'll just show you the difference in the blades, and that's not even the worst one. This one will actually clean up pretty nice. The other one's got some pretty good chunks out of it. I'll show you once I get it on. So I'm just gonna put this side back together, and then we'll do the other side. I watched another video that said these are supposed to have a keyway in them, but I don't know if that's the newer model. This one's fairly old, and it does not have a keyway. That's supposed to hold those round pins in place. So I don't know, but this works since this ever happens to you. Now, something's wrong there. It didn't sit right. That should be spinning. So I either over tightened it, which is very possible, or it's not sitting in the shoulder. See. There, that's better. Now I'm going to make sure it's still sitting on the shoulder. There's a shoulder on these bolts. Yeah. Just tighten that a hair more, I think. There. I think that's good. Let's see if we can have as much luck on the other side. Excellent. Loosen it a little. These are supposed to free move. That'll do it right there. Tighten that a little bit more. we go. And that's ready to go. Let me just show you this other blade. If you look at this one, you can see all the pieces missing out of it. And I'm going to have to grind that back to there to get rid of that. So it'll be a good backup pair. I will sharpen them at some point, just keep them around just in case, but I'll try not to run them. Okay, there's the new blades all bolted back on again. So I can put this thing back onto its belly on this pallet and keep painting. Okay, I just wanted to show you the paint that I'm using. I bought it at Tractor Supply. I use the actual John Deere spray paint from the dealer when I'm touching up my tractor. But that's about $5 a can more expensive than this. This was about $10 a can for the implement paint. And probably similar to that for the rust reformer. It took me 3 cans of rust reformer. It's going to be 3 cans of green and 1 can of black. The green is AG green. That matches the tractor pretty good. There's another one called Oliver green, which is different. So if you're going to do this and you want to try and match your tractor, go with the AG green. I like the implement paint because it tends to stick better and hold up better. I'm hoping it works. If it works 3/4 as good as the John Deere paint, I'll be happy. I've actually painted my bucket without any prep work on the 1025R, and that paint held up amazing. Okay, so I went and got another can of the Rust Max. It turns out when you paint in your garage at night with no light, you miss a lot of spots. So I just ran around this and touched up all the spots I missed. I want to make sure I had Rust Max on everything before I put color on it. So now I'm gonna let this dry and I'll start putting some green on it. Okay, so right now I've got pieces in paint everywhere. This isn't done yet. It's got a couple of coats. I got to put more paint on it, obviously. But you can start to see how it's going to look green. And then if we go over here, I've got more pieces. The wheel holder on the right there is done. Piece in the back, the wheel support is not. It's got a couple of coats, but I still go to the other side too and finish the top. I had started off painting too heavy, so now I've moved it down to light coats, and as you can see, it's very moist and damp here and has been for the last several days, so it takes forever for the paint to dry. These are the rear supports that I made. I got to finish painting them. The one on the right's pretty much done. The one on the left needs a little bit more paint, but we're getting close. Okay, so when I bought the cutter, somebody had put just a regular bolt in the shaft. And it's supposed to be a shear bolt. And the reason for that is if you hit something solid, that bolt's designed to break instead of destroying the blades or the machine or the tractor or whatever. So I went and got a 5-pack of shear bolts from Tractor Supply so that I got the right thing in there going forward. Okay, so I don't know why these are so long. The bolt that was in there was that long too. I think I'm going to cut it off once I get it all permanently attached, because I don't want to have that jagged piece of bolt spinning. Okay, so here it is after its last coat of paint. It's still drying, but again, this wasn't a restoration project. This was to make it look nicer and make it last longer. So I'm pretty pleased with it. And then these 2 pieces just got their last coat. I noticed that this was missing one of its washers, supposed to be one on top and one on bottom, and it was missing one, so I picked up some new ones. And here's the front arms. Showed you those earlier from what we got done with the torches. So I'm going to let everything dry for at least a day, because this paint seems to stay pretty soft, especially with as moist as it is. At least the sun finally came out. But either tomorrow or the next day, we'll put it back together and be done with it. Okay. So as you can see, I'm actually ready to put it back together. I've kind of laid everything out approximately where it goes, so it's a little easier to do. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get this thing back together and ready to test. Ugh. This paint is still, I probably should be waiting another day, but impatience is getting the best of me. I did end up replacing all the bolts. The other ones would have worked fine, but I figured I spent this much time and energy into making this look better, I might as well put new bolts on it. As you can see, I'm forgetting how I took this apart. So luckily, I took pictures of how I took this all apart. So I'm going to look at the pictures just to remind myself. I mean, I have a pretty good idea how it goes, but that doesn't want to fit like it should be fitting. I think it's because I might have that plate on the wrong side. Okay, so that's exactly what I did. This plate's supposed to be on the outside. You can hear my dog barking at the neighbors. Murph! Probably could have got some of these a little shorter. I think what I'm going to do is wait to tighten that until I have this all back together again. Okay, there we go. Now this is where it can be nice to have help because I got to put all of these pieces on at once. I think I'm going to try putting all this together loose, and then I can line it up and tighten everything. In theory, on paper, we're going to try that. Okay. Now, if you remember, I replaced these. I'm going to have to bend them a little because that's the way they were fit before.
I really got to make some friends so I can get help with some of these projects. Good morning. This bolt, I don't think it's going to be long enough. Okay. See how that works. Because these were bent to match this contour earlier, it doesn't want to go all the way through right now. Actually, oh, what do you know? I did buy enough bolts. This is exactly where it was set before, and I like the height. Okay. Let's see if I can start making some of this tight so we don't have to work with an octopus. Well, didn't think that through all the way, did I? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this whole thing in here or not. See what I can do with this. That's close. That's the one that's twisted. Yeah, that kind of brought it better. Oh, you can really see this bend. Need this to stay lined up though. Let's see if I can work backwards on this. Probably should have just replaced this arm, but really don't want to spend the money. I don't have to. See if that happens now. I just put this on backwards. That's hysterical. So I need to reverse this because that's supposed to stop tight there, but then that allows it to go up in the back. Okay, so if you do this or do one of these yourselves, there's a different angle. This matters, this back piece of the wheel support, whether it's this way or this way. It won't line up the other way because of the way that the center bar is angled. Just make sure this one's tight. That's going to let me to lift it, and then when the back of the mower needs to come up, it's going to flop, which is going to stop me from mangling these bars again. So there's a bushing in here that rides in the middle of this, that once I've tightened down on that, but then this can free spin. So there you go. Now I just hope that that's the right distance for my quick attach hitch. Okay, so all I got left to put the drive shaft back on. I just greased the shaft, but I want you to see, I don't know if others like this, but just in case, you take the shear bolt off, but there's also a snap ring on here that holds it on. And I'm guessing that, so that's if the shear bolt breaks, it doesn't just slide off on you. But if you have a system like this, be careful. Don't just try and rip the shaft off. It's almost too slippery. Okay, there we go. I just got to tighten that, and then that's it. It's all back together. I just got to throw that snap ring in, which I'll do that off camera. So what I'll do is I'll order that other style of floating top link, and I'll do another video of installing that, and then we'll take it for a test drive once I get that installed and show you how our fruits of our labors. But overall, I'm happy. I mean, it looks much better than it looked before. I know it's in great shape. It's got brand new blades. I've been through this entire machine now. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.